guys, it's Taylor back with Life with Taylor, and today we're going to be reading some paranormal Reddit. So let's get into it. Also, I've got some candy here. Not sponsored. Love. Okay, we're going to be reading some paranormal stories, not videos. Also, let's rank them on a scale from 1 to 5 ghosts. So let's see, this just says, unknown entity from Indiana State Sanatorium, photo from friend. I have heard of the Indiana State Sanatorium. Like most places, it's probably haunted. I can't think of the history like off the bat in my head, but I've heard it and I know it's haunted. So this picture shows what looks to be like a boiler room maybe, and it zooms in right click here. It shows like a human. But it doesn't look like a regular human. Like, it looks weird. It like blends in with the darkness, and it looks like it has no like saturation, you know, like it doesn't look alive, I guess. Let's see what the comments say. So there's many stories from all kinds of different visitors throughout the years who claim to have seen a very tall man lurking around. I've heard someone say that she thought he was a part of their group at one point because he kind of followed them from room to room. Another story of seeing quick glances of this super tall man out of the corner of his eye, etc. Seems like you were just lucky enough to get an actual photo of him. OP replies, this is extremely interesting. My friend was the one who got the photo over the weekend. I figured I'd post it here to get others' opinions. I'm 6'5" for reference, and that stature is considerably larger than myself. Well, I think you also kind of like maybe perspective. It does look abnormally tall, but maybe it looks tall because it's farther away, but that doesn't make sense. It should look shorter when it's farther away. Interesting. Like, it's like really creepy. I guess it could be a pareidolia, but it's really creepy. I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5 ghosts. I feel like it's definitely creepy. There's a potential it could be a pareidolia, or I don't know, maybe somebody that worked there, but it's definitely creepy. Next, this one actually has a story. Strange things after finding object in beach. Anyways, hey guys, I'm not sure if this is the right place to post this, but I was wondering if anyone visited Warden Point, Isle of Sheppey, UK a little over a month ago. Just to be at the beginning of the beach head, there's a stretch of large rocks that break up the waves just before you get to the actual beach. About a month ago, my wife and I decided to check out the old World War II bunkers littering the coastline of Warden Point, and for anyone looking for some good exploration and fossil hunting, it's really good. However, on the way back to the car coming back to the large rocks, we were playing around and jumping over the stones and trying not to fall, when my wife noticed a bunch of sticks and rope near an opening of a few of these big rocks. When she looked down, she saw this stone child's head. Looks like it had been broken off a garden ornament. Anyway, it looked like many people had tried to get it out, and let me tell you, it took us around 3 to 4 hours trying to get it out, and since we were a few hours away from home, I couldn't just pop back for stuff to get it out. I eventually got it out by slipping my leg down the hole and picking it up with my foot, my wife propping it up with a stick and taking my jumper off and slipping my arm to grab it. What? Does anyone remember seeing this thing? I just want to make it clear that I don't believe in anything supernatural and fully believe those sorts of things to mostly be hoaxes and just plain explainable. However, I can't ignore the strange things that have been happening to me and my wife since this object. You spent 3 to 4 hours trying to get this shit out? Okay. This could just be I'm hyper aware of things happening because it's my mind, but here is the things that have happened so far. The hand I used to retrieve the object, I broke my wrist slipping off a motorway divider. Never broken a bone until now and can send proof. A glass vase we keep on top of the fridge, been there for years, fell off when my wife was bending over to get something from under the sink and just missed her head. I woke up a few nights ago and my back door was wide open. I triple checked the doors, always due to the place I live. My washing machine, I have the one where you can open the top mid-spin and put socks in and stuff. Okay, so like a top loader. The top bit has been pressed open at least twice on its own while I've been chilling in my living room, and you really need to press it in. Things missing when then reappearing. My kids has told me that he keeps losing stuff and it keeps spawning in random places. I tell him it's his grandmother playing with him, but I guess that's just kids forgetting where they put stuff, but it's weird it's happening now. The most concerning thing to me is that my wife and I for a few nights now have heard doors opening at night, the bedroom ones and living room, but we have cameras and nothing has been opened, just the noise as if someone has opened it and walked through. Should I take this thing back or is my anxiety just getting to me? I would say take it back, just for good measure, just in case. You're not supposed to take things from places that are haunted because spirits could be attached to them. It could anger them. Yeah, you just don't want to do that. And the fact that it took you 3 to 4 hours to do this, to get that thing out of there, what compelled you to have this? Like, it looks creepy. It's giving me weird vibes. Let's look at the comments. Never take things from places like forests, beaches, abandoned houses, etc. Any item could have belonged to someone else and you never really know why it was left there or the circumstances around it. Yes, this part even includes the possibility that the original owner may no longer be around. This part especially stood out to me. It took us around 3 to 4 hours trying to get it out. Most people would have given up after 20 to 30 minutes. I honestly can't understand what compelled you to spend this long trying to retrieve it, even with your reasoning. My suggestion would be return the item to the exact same spot where you found it. If it gave you peace of mind, maybe even a simple apology and leave it there. Hopefully that's enough to put this behind you. Somebody else said, what possessed you to spend hours trying to dig it up? You should really take it back. Oh my God, wait, somebody's selling them. Oh my God, wait, it looks like that exact one. Okay, well, guys, if you need this exact garden statue, you can have it for a low price of $387.39. What? It actually is kind of cute, but her eyes are weird. Somebody else said it looks like a grave ornament, like a grave marker, like from where they're from. So that's even creepier. I'm gonna rank that. I'm gonna give that one a 3 as well. No, I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 because you literally, like, I guess it could be a coincidence that sorry, my posture is so bad. It could be a coincidence that it could be a coincidence that these hauntings occurred, but I don't know, it feels connected. So I'm gonna give it a 4. Something followed me during my vacation and I still can't explain it. So this happened last month when I went back to my country of origin with my family. We stayed there for about a month. Honestly, the first 3 weeks were completely normal, nothing strange, nothing scary. I was sleeping fine and everything felt peaceful. But during the last week, I don't really know how to explain it. The atmosphere in the house just started to feel off, like heavy. Not hot or anything, just heavy, especially at night. I remember even telling my sister the house felt weird, but I didn't think too much about it at the time. For context, the house there is kind of split into 2 parts. One side has my room and my siblings' rooms with a small living room and little kitchen. The other side has my parents' room, the guest room, the big kitchen, and the bathroom. To go between the 2 parts, you have to cross this small outdoor hallway. The walls have little openings in them, so at night you feel the wind and can see outside a bit. I don't know why, but the hallway started making me feel really uncomfortable last week. One night I was crossing it to go back to my room. It was late and most of the lights were off. When I got to the middle of the hallway, I suddenly got this really bad feeling in my chest, like my body was telling me to stop. So I literally froze for a second. Everything was super quiet. Then I heard something move on the other side of the wall openings. Not loud, just close enough to notice, like something shifting its weight. I didn't look, and honestly, I'm glad I didn't. I just walked fast to my room and tried to convince myself that it was probably a cat outside. A few nights later is when things got really weird. I was in my room with the lights off, only using my phone flashlight because I hate sleeping with the big light on. I opened Snapchat and my flashlight turned off automatically. At first I didn't think anything of it, but while I was typing my reply, I suddenly got this horrible feeling, like I was being watched. And not in a normal paranoid way, it felt really strong. My whole body went cold and I knew something wasn't right. I quickly left Snapchat to turn the flashlight back on, and when the light came back on, I swear I saw a black dog shape try to climb on my bed. I didn't even think. I just screamed and shut my eyes immediately. My brother ran in and turned on the main light. When I opened my eyes, nothing was there. After that night, I started hearing this weird snake-like hissing in my ears sometimes. Even during the day, even when I was sitting right next to my family, nobody reacted. So I slowly realized I was the only one hearing it, which honestly freaked me out even more than anything. Girl, are you like, I hate to be like, maybe it's a mental illness, but it's like, if you're the only one hearing it. By the last day of the trip, I was exhausted because I was barely sleeping. The morning I went to grab my AirPods from my closet, I was standing really close to it when suddenly everything went black. I don't even remember falling. Next thing I know, I wake up and my parents and my brother around me trying to wake me up. Apparently, my upper body fell back onto the bed behind me. Later that day, I finally told my brother everything. His reaction is what gives me chills. He told me that during the same week, sometimes at night, he would hear a dog barking outside, and whenever it happened, he'd start praying and the barking would eventually stop after about 10 to 15 minutes. In our culture and religion, we do believe in the evil eye and jinn. I'm not saying that's 100% what this was, but what really stays in my mind is this. The day we left the country, everything stopped. No more hissing, no more heavy feeling, nothing. I still don't know what happened that week, but yeah, it honestly scared me more than I admitted at the time. There's only 2 comments, and I agree with the first one. That sounds really scary, but lack of sleep, stress, and being in a different environment can cause shadow-like visuals, sounds, and even fainting. Sleep deprivation alone can make things feel very real, and the fact that it stopped when you left suggests it may have been stress related. If it ever happens again, especially hearing things or blacking out, it's important to see a doctor to rule out medical causes. Yeah, but the fact that your brother heard it too, I mean, I guess it could be a coincidence when the dog stopped barking. I'm gonna give it a 3. It's definitely spooky, it's creepy, could be a coincidence, or maybe a medical cause, but I don't know. All right, last one. Again, another story, so lock in, girl, lock in. Spoke with a deceased woman on a police call, death notification call. I've posted this here before along with about a burglary and process call. I responded, but I've been getting requests from the newer members on my recent post, and I figured it's worth repeating for everyone. There was one call I went to a death notification that really freaked me out. Wait, what is this person, a police officer? I had to contact some family members of deceased woman that was involved in a fatal car accident a few miles away from her home. When I arrived and met a woman near the roadway just outside the property gate. She said she heard me coming from miles away. I asked her if she lived at the residence, which she confirmed she did. After asking her to speak with me at the house, she agreed, but she said she needed to walk as the house was about 75 yards from the road. After making it to the house, I approached the front door on a small wooden porch and began scanning the driveway for the woman. It was about 1 a.m. and completely dark. What? I'm so confused. Why would you meet up with someone to talk at 1 a.m.? While looking for the woman, the front door opened and a younger woman appeared. She was concerned about my presence and asked if everything was okay. I asked if I could speak with her and any other adults inside, and she welcomed me in. I told her I would wait for the woman I met near the gate, and she told me nobody else would be home. I then freaked out and began searching the property. Nothing. After entering the residence, I told her and her husband about the news about Susie, which ended up being her mother. She said her mother moved in a few months back after her father had passed and wasn't handling it well. When she and her husband were comforting one another, I began looking at photos on the wall. There was a picture of a middle-aged woman that stuck out to me. She was a younger version of the woman I spoke with near the gate. While looking at the picture, the daughter confirmed that was her mother, the woman that passed in the wreck. I spoke with the ghost of the individual that died in the crash just before telling her family what happened. Oh! There's not that many comments, but that is creepy. I'm gonna give that a 4. I'm gonna give that a 4. I feel like that's interesting, unless it's a complete made-up story. I feel like it's interesting that she appeared or showed herself right before you were about to, break the news to her daughter and the daughter's husband. I think that's interesting. So if it's not fake, that would be a 5. But I'm giving it a 4 because I'm trying to think on both sides, skepticism and believing in the paranormal, to kind of make an educated guess. So yeah, comment down below which one was the creepiest. I feel like, I don't know, they're all kind of around the same spookiness. But yeah, I think maybe the object taken off the beach. Yeah, while you're down there commenting, click all the buttons, you know what to do. And I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world viewing this, and peace.